All right, let's dive into a cold case. And I mean really cold. This one's 13 million years old. Our subject isn't a person, it's an entire galaxy. And trust me, the evidence of a violent struggle is literally written across the stars. So let's play detective and investigate this cosmic crime scene.
So here it is. This is our scene of the crime, NGC 3077. Now, at first glance, yeah, it just looks like a soft, hazy little smudge of light, right? But you can't let that quiet appearance fool you, because hidden inside that glow is an incredible story of cosmic theft, total chaos, and some seriously furious creation.
So you're probably wondering, what's the big mystery? What makes this galaxy so strange? What clues are telling us that this is not just some quiet corner of the universe? Well, as soon as astronomers started to really zoom in, they realized this galaxy's appearance is, well, it's just plain weird. Okay, Section 1, a peculiar neighbor, the scene of the crime. First things first, we've got to properly identify our so-called victim here. Let's get the basic facts down before we start digging for clues. Okay, so who is NGC 3077? Well, it's an interacting dwarf galaxy, hanging out in the Ursa Major constellation. It's also part of a really famous cosmic group called the M81 triplet, and you'll want to remember that it's a huge clue. But the thing that really makes it stand out, the thing that tipped off astronomers, is what they call its peculiar morphology. Now, that's just a fancy way of saying its shape is all wrong. It's this chaotic mess of dust and glowing filaments, which is a dead giveaway that this galaxy has been through something pretty traumatic.
And here we go. This is our first piece of hard evidence. Just look at this thing. This is not a nice, smooth, orderly galaxy. It's a total mess. You've got these dark, clumpy lanes of dust thrown all over the place, and they're so thick they're actually hiding the galaxy's core. That is not normal. It's basically the galactic equivalent of a room that's been turned upside down and completely ransacked.
All right, next up, the cosmic tug-of-war, identifying the culprit. You know, a crime scene this chaotic doesn't just happen by itself. Something, or maybe some things, had to cause all this mayhem. It's time to line up the usual suspects. And here they are. The culprits? They're NGC 3077's massive neighbors, the huge spiral galaxy M81 and the wild starburst galaxy M82. Our little dwarf galaxy got caught in a massive gravitational tug-of-war between these two giants. And believe me, it has been paying the price for millions of years. So let's piece together a timeline. Based on computer simulations, which are kind of like our forensic reconstruction, the main event, the assault, went down about 300 million years ago. NGC 3077 just got way, way too close to M81, and M81's massive gravity started to literally pull the smaller galaxy to pieces. We're talking about something called tidal forces. It's the same kind of gravitational stretching that makes tides happen here on Earth, but just, cranked up to an unbelievable galaxy-shredding scale.
So just how much damage are we talking about here? Well, the scale of this theft is absolutely staggering. I mean, we're talking about 90%. 90% of its most essential material just gone. Yeah, you heard that right, 90%. To put that in perspective, imagine if 90% of the air in the room you're in was just violently sucked out. That's kind of what happened to this galaxy's fuel, the raw atomic gas it needs to make new stars. And the gas wasn't just destroyed, it was stolen. It was pulled right out of the galaxy into this huge, ghostly river of material that now connects it back to its neighbors.
Okay, next chapter in this story, a star-forming frenzy, the aftermath. Because the crime didn't just stop with the theft. Oh no. The trauma from that encounter set off this insane chain reaction inside the galaxy. A messy, destructive, and, actually, a surprisingly creative aftermath.
And get this, it wasn't just an attack from the outside. The gravitational shockwaves ripped right through the entire galaxy. It literally shoved the gas and stars that were left right off center, knocking the whole system completely out of whack. So what happens when you knock all that gas around in the center of a galaxy? You get something pretty dramatic, a starburst. It's a period of super intense, unusually high star formation. In this case, all that displaced gas basically crashed into itself, triggering this sudden, ferocious wave of new stars being born. It's like a panicked, chaotic response to the whole ordeal. And this is where you can really see just how out of sorts things are. Okay, so on the left, you've got those dark, clumpy dust lanes we saw earlier. But look at the right. That's the bright, chaotic glow of ionized hydrogen gas, which is the fuel for the starburst. And here's the kicker. They're not in the same place. The very gas that's fueling all this new starburst has been pushed away from everything else. It's a perfect visual of a system in complete disarray. And this starburst isn't just a quiet little affair. It is so violent that the combined energy from thousands upon thousands of these newborn stars is blowing these enormous bubbles, astronomers call them supershells, of hot gas out from the center. I mean, some of these things stretch for about 3,000 light years, 1,000 parsecs. The galaxy is literally blowing itself apart from the inside out. But wait, the investigation is not over yet. There's one more really mysterious piece of evidence at this crime scene. It's a feature that astronomers are still arguing about today. Let's look at the mysterious Garland, a lingering clue. So way back in 1985, astronomers noticed something kind of odd just south of the main galaxy. In their own words, they called it a peculiar scattered structure consisting of blue stars and H2 regions. It's since picked up the nickname the Garland. And this right here is the big lingering question for our cosmic cold case. Is this Garland just another piece of wreckage, something torn off of NGC 37 during the whole messy interaction? Or could it be something else entirely? Maybe a totally separate object, like another tiny galaxy that just got caught in the crossfire.
So what's the verdict on the Garland? Well, the evidence is pretty conflicted. I mean, on the one hand, the Garland is moving at almost the exact same speed as NGC 3077, and it's sitting smack in the middle of a dense stream of gas connecting everything. That points pretty strongly to it being a tidal tail, basically a piece of debris. But on the other hand, it looks like a distinct chain of star clusters, and its specific origin is still a big question mark. So that leaves the door open for it being something else. The jury is definitely still out on this one.
So, after looking at all the evidence, the chaotic dust, the stolen gas, that crazy starburst, and the mysterious Garland, what's the final verdict here? Let's talk about a galaxy's scars, the final verdict. You know, the final verdict is that NGC 377 isn't just a victim, it's a survivor. This galaxy is a living laboratory, a perfect example of the violent, chaotic, but also beautiful process of how galaxies evolve. See, galaxies aren't these static islands floating in space. They're constantly interacting, colliding, and completely transforming each other. The scars all over NGC 3077 tell a story that's playing out right now, all across the universe. So, what are the key takeaways from this whole cosmic case? First, that galactic interactions can be incredibly brutal, stripping away the vast majority of a dwarf galaxy's gas. Second, all that disruption can actually trigger these intense bursts of star formation right at the galaxy's core. And a really key point, the presence of old stars proves it's an ancient galaxy being transformed, not some new galaxy just being born. All told, its current state is an amazing snapshot of a super common process in the universe, galaxies evolving through interaction.
So we can close the case file on NGC 3077. But it leaves you with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? If one small, seemingly insignificant galaxy can tell such a dramatic story, what else is hiding out there in plain sight? What other cosmic dramas are playing out right now, just waiting for us to notice?